Hello again. Welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're a gaming group based out in southeast Pennsylvania, over by Westchester. And if you live in northeast Maryland, anywhere around Philadelphia, but again towards the Westchester area, South Jersey or around Deptford, anywhere like that, just do me a favor. Reach out to us. I'm Sir MC 2015 up on the Ninth Age boards. My name is Mark. Feel free to reach out to me on this YouTube channel. And we're always looking for like-minded individuals to join our group. Again, we're there to have fun. We have people who will turn around and, play in ETCs. We have other people who will turn around and just as a drop pod will use a cardboard cylinder. So again, we're such an easygoing group and we're there for fun. So today we have a battle report of Dwarven Holds versus the Orcs and Goblins. And today I'm playing Dwarven Holds because right now my goal is to have, before I move on to a different army, I will have this army painted. I will have a 2,500 point list that I prefer painted on the board. And Ryan's doing his Orcs and Goblins, who, I won't lie, he cheats. His girlfriend painted most of his stuff. So I had to put his army from memory before he emailed me, in which case I was actually very close except for items and points. So he had a Iron Orc Warboss or Warlord. He had a big Orc Shaman. He had a Goblin Chief. That was his BSB. He had a Goblin Shaman from the Little Green Gods. The Orc was from the Big Green Gods. 2 Pump Wagons, 2 Mangler Squids. You can read the rest. The one thing I do want to point out is he puts the big shaman in with the feral orcs, and he has a magic item on there that makes sure that they never lose their frenzy. That's brutal, because I'm like, yes, I'm going to win combat, and then you find out that it doesn't make a difference, that you won combat. They are still frenzied and still have an outrageous number of attacks. So, let's see. The Nasher Dashers, really can't see them in action, but sorry for the forward in regards to that. And let's go from there. Over here, there's my king, my engineer. Really haven't changed much. I'm trying to tweak my king. He's really, to me, what I'm not liking. I actually may also drop my 10 Flame Wardens with the champion, because I want to say that's 150 points, and I may take 3 of the Whole Guardians. Because, yeah, they're 3 wounds, T5, strength 6, 3+ armor. Flame Wardens are a little bit more versatile, but then again, those Whole Guardians hit, and they hit hard. I'm thinking about it. That's all I can say is I'm thinking about it. I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm thinking about it. So, this is our board. So we ended up doing standard deployment and capture the standard. So the standards, I actually now have 3 standards, even though I have to actually build one to put in with my handgunners. So going from my left through my right, I have a unit of warriors with a unit champion that have Vanguard, Great Weapons, and Throwing Weapons. The painted gunman there with the 1 white guy is... what the heck are they? Those were my Forge Wardens, followed by my 25 Spear Dwarves with shields, followed by my Flame Cannon, my handgunners that are guild crafted. I have my cannon, my organ gun. Then my king is in with a Deep Watch, and then I've got a unit of Greybeards. And over there, again, it's Gargantula, the 2 Mangler Squids. You can see where his war machines are. The big black thing all the way in the far corner next to the Goblins. Between the Goblins and the other Pump Wagon, that is another Catapult. And the close block unit, those are his Iron Orcs, 20 strong, I believe. And then you've got the Feral Orcs with the Mammoth Stabber in there too. And then just the Goblins in front of, I don't know what's in front of, it's one of his war machines. Those are the Nasher Dashers. So the way we started deploying is he deployed a unit first, I deployed a unit, he deployed a unit, I deployed a unit. And at that point, it was roughly, he had his war machines down, he had his Mangler Squids out, and a single Pump Wagon. So he still had a lot of drops. I'm like, there's no way. He has me outdropped. So going 1-to-1, he's going to see where everything is anyway. What's the point? I'm not going to really throw any surprises his way. So I might as well go for first turn. So I dropped everything. So a couple of surprises he threw for me, since I happen to drop everything, is he put the Gargantula on my left flank. I'm going, crap, I don't have anything to deal with that. Yeah, those guys have great weapons, but thing's got some like 8 wounds, and it's striking before me. I would have to, it would be a miracle for me to turn around with my warriors to be able to kill that Gargantula. And with where he placed his goblins, that to me was a little disconcerting if I were him, because one, there's a forest there, so I believe mag gets, he has 2 mag hits in that unit. When they pop out, if they go through terrain, they die. If they roll doubles, they die. So why put them behind the forest? Why put them as he did? So that was the one thing, and that's it. Everything else, Ryan likes to use his pump wagons and his mangler squids as anti-chaff, which they absolutely are. And let's be honest, they can wreck my army if I let them get near me. The wrecking crew have definitely earned their names and my ever-loving hatred of them. So there's Captain One-Eye, Dwarves turn 1. With that said, I was aggressive. Now, as the unit down on the far left vanguarded and then moved 9 inches. And then I got out my laser pointer. I'm like, okay, Gargantula can't charge without going around the building. These guys can't go in a straight line. So the Iron Orcs, is he going to be that aggressive? Probably not. So I really felt comfortable putting them where they were. The Mangler Squids couldn't touch them. The pump wagon was safe. So I was absolutely all right with that. And I moved up my other flank, and that was it. Before I flip to the next picture, because I forgot to take another pic, if you notice on the far side between the goblins and the pump wagon, there is a catapult that I said was there. During my shooting phase, my cannon, using my ballistic skill, because he was within 3 inches of my engineer, using his ballistic skill, turns around and destroys that catapult. Turn 1. And my organ gun, my mighty organ gun, killed 1 goblin. 1 goblin. So there's goblin now, turn 2. The catapult is gone. So he moves up. He moves up his pump wagons because he has no choice. His mangler squids because they have no choice. But he's sitting back with his Iron Orcs he repositioned and his Feral Orcs. The reason why he's doing that is he has such a fear of my flame cannon, because it can't control the field. It is a very nasty if you go to move up, and he doesn't want to have to deal with it. Literally wants to make sure that he stays outside its range. And we'll get to comments later on. He and I spoke about after because this is only turn 1, and he's sitting back trying to see what I'm doing. So at myself, as a dwarf, I'm being the aggressor. On the far side, he wanted to originally put his pump wagon into the, we're using the castle keep to mark the edge of the board. And he was going to send his pump wagon up against it. And I reminded him, it's like, if you do that, it takes dangerous strain tests. He goes, okay, so I roll a dice. Like, no, it's a chariot. You roll 4 dice. And on ones, it takes a wound. So at that point, he goes, oh, we're not doing that then. So he had it go that way, kind of cut across his lines. Looking at it, he's going, all right, dwarves are that far away. I'm not really concerned. And that was it. His spider, which he did move up a little bit, still have hidden behind the building. Turn around and launch that spider web sling right at my warriors. It kills 3 of my warriors. I'm going, how the heck did this stupid spider spin a web and kill 3 of my guys? Now I can't march. And that's what dwarves have become into, is, to me, I'm a dwarf player. They're a fast army. They are no longer the slow sloggers, you don't want to touch me army, and I want to shoot you from afar. And I'm not sure if I like that or not. I'm loving playing my dwarves. Don't get me wrong. but I'm not sure I like the meta where they're fast. All I can think of, I forget the actor's name, but Gimli going, us dwarves are natural sprinters. We're wasted over long distances. And with that said, these guys have really become, they're outpacing humans, they're outpacing orcs. It goes, in terms of movement, in foot sloggers, it's ogres, because they're speed 6, Skaven elves, because they're speed 5, dwarves, because they're speed 3 times 3, then humans and orcs. I my way would be to have made them able to march, make them speed 4. When they march, you subtract 1 from the sum of their movement. So it would be their movement times 2 minus 1. That's the way I would handle it. Make them speed 7, in which case they're not that much slower on the charge. They still get 4 inches instead of 3 inches because, again, they're natural sprinters. But getting a little bit off course, and I do apologize. Meanwhile, they can't march. Here, the Doom Divers, or whatever they're called now, kill 2. And then his other Doom Diver kills another 2. And that's it. Now there's Captain One-Eye again, Dwarf turn 2. So it was a long charge with my Greybeards on the far right into the pump wagon. And he thought I didn't have it, but I'm like, no, I have Swift Stride. It's like, what gives you Swift Stride? My king's on a war throne. And because that other unit's within 6 inches, they gain Swift Stride when charging. My warriors, they didn't need much of a charge. They got in easily. And that's it. I maneuvered up my Forge Wardens so that they can turn around and take pop shots at the Mangler Wrecking Team. And that was really it. Otherwise, he sat back. I edged up a little bit, but not much, because those Mad Gits, those are still what's bothering me over all the way on the far side of the Mad Gits. I want them to pop. I don't want to have to use artillery or anything that's good at shooting, but otherwise he's staying outside my shooting range. My shooting, I turn around, I shoot him with the Flame Wardens. I only do 2 wounds. It's a 3-wound critter. I actually had to use my flame cannon in order to kill it. I was ashamed. I was truly ashamed. Over here, he had managed to get a spell off on me, which was reroll 6s to hit, wound, and armor save, and it just didn't make a difference. Over there, shooting, my organ gun only killed another 2. So far my organ gun, I'd have to look up how many points my organ gun is, but I've managed to kill 3 goblins. I think that's 6 points. Not even earning back its kibble. It just isn't. Alright, so over here, close combat, I turn around and I obliterate that pump wagon with the Greybeards, so I decided to do an overrun. I honestly don't know how far away the goblins are. It ended up being exactly 8 inches away, and what I rolled an 8. So they are actually into the goblins. You move them like a charge, so it's no longer straight with clipping, and that's that. Over there, I easily destroyed that other, what the heck was that? I destroy the other pump wagon, and that's it. So now it's Goblin's turn 2. As I said, my Greybeards had managed to get into the goblins on the far side. He charges in with his Gargantula into the warriors, and that's it. Mangler Squid moved up. He sat back again with his unit. Again, he was hoping that his remaining catapult would be able to take out my flame cannon, because that's really what's keeping him back at this point in time. Because, again, it drops that 3-inch template that moves through the unit and just mows things down. It's strength 5, D3 wounds. It does a lot of hurting. And one of my friends, Dan, pardon me, that I've been playing with, he sees it on the board and he goes, that thing must die. Just tell me where it is. That thing must die now. Over here, Gargantula, he gets a spell up that allows him to reroll hits. Let's see. I don't know why I have this pick. I'm not sure if I'm back in a close combat, but basically, Gargantula turns around and eats the warriors. Just absolutely eats them. I believe I may have died to a man. And over here, I won combat. I forget how many wounds I did. He did nothing to me. I won combat and had to kill at least 5. Now, he's steadfast, but he rolls like an 8 leadership. He's leadership 6 or 7. All his high leadership, all his general, his BSB that you would want with goblins with spears is on the far side of the board. Over here, those two Doom Divers, they misfire, can't shoot this turn or next, and that's it. So as I said, I won that combat. He ate me there, and I forget what killed one of them. And there's that combat. So now it's Dwarves turn 2. My cannon took out another catapult. And turn 3. Wow, I forgot to do movement. So again, going back to my turn 3, I really didn't move up. I actually edged my warriors back a little bit. And that was it. So he charges in with his Gargantula into my Forge Wardens. I flee. Then he redirects into my warriors with spears, and I learned it's a monster. It's not monstrous infantry. It's not monstrous cavalry. It's not cavalry. It is not a chariot. It is a monster. Therefore, I do not get lethal strike. But I've got enough ranks. I figure I can hold him there for some time. What else? Oh, my warriors during my turn, because again I killed his goblins and ran him down during his turn, were now on his back line. And I had charged the one Doom Diver during my turn, reached it, and killed it. The one thing with the 9th Age, and I actually like this rule, a lot of people don't take advantage of it, is you're allowed to legally move off the board. 50% of your footprint can move up to 50% can move off the board and then come back on, as long as you finish your move on the board. That, to me, is key, pivotal, or it's very important. It's late here, so I do apologize. And it's at this point, I now have a 10-man unit that I never thought was going to make it across the field in his back line and just wrecking havoc. Meanwhile, the 10-man unit I thought was going to be in his backfield and wrecking havoc is now off the board. So Dwarf turn 4. So let me go back just a quick pick. So he turns around, he kills some of my dwarves, and that's it. I do nothing to him. It's not a single wound. Dwarf turn 4. Charge the other Doom Diver and rally my troops. I move my king out of the unit and reposition. Ryan still sat back with his 2 main combat blocks and his Gnasher Dashers. He's still sitting back there. So I move the king out of the unit. I figure I'm going to have to help the warriors against the spider. And goblins turn 5. So again, I lost another couple of dwarves. He's moving up with his mangler squid. And that's it. There's nothing really else happened in that other combat. Now, if you notice, now I'm taking a picture. He killed another 4 of my dwarves. I rolled, at that point, I may have put I think I did like 2 wounds total to that thing so far through the game. May have actually been done with my cannon. And I rolled 6 sixes. 6 sixes, AP 1. He fails all his armor saves, and that gigantic monstrous critter, is removed. And he's going, what the F? Well, makes up for the turns I did nothing to it, like 3 rounds of combat. It all came at once. One thing that was saving my bacon in that combat was the fact that I kept getting the -1 to hit or the -1 to wound. That's why my dwarves performed as well as they did, is that I had a magic buff every turn. And I do find getting magic buffs with dwarves is very difficult to do. So, Dwarves turn 5. Just turn around and move up my Deep Watch. I charge the back of his Feral Orcs with my 10-man rather than charge them into the Black Orcs or the Iron Orcs. The reason why I did that is the Iron Orcs have Stubborn. I don't want to go anywhere near his general. My unit champion is not going to kill his general. His general will turn around and eat me alive, and Orcs will probably prefer it that way. Where if I go after the Feral Orcs, there's a possibility I can win that combat. He has a couple bad rolls. There's a possibility. Or, better yet, I break, he has to follow, and it takes him out of position. So, let's see here. Turn around, I shoot up the other Mangler Squid. I kill an Iron Orc with my cannon. Yeah, I loved my cannon. I hit the first Iron Orc, dead. Second Iron Orc, rolled a 1. Just going, oh, cannon, cannon, cannon. Oh, well, you killed out the 2 catapults. My handgunners did 2 wounds. Did more wounds than my cannon. My organ gun killed all 6 Nasher Dashers in 1 turn. And over here, I lost 1 dwarf. 1 dwarf against his 6 orcs. Ryan was livid. Ryan was saying some lovely, lovely 4-letter words to me after that. He's like, how? How the hell did that happen? I'm like, well, they're graybeards versus a feral orc. He's like, Mark, they have 3 attacks each. I'm doing this many attacks. I should be hitting on half, wounding on more than half of that. And I'm going, oh. At the same time, I did roll my armor saves. I rolled them extremely well, and then I had my ward save on top. So that's why I only lost 1 dwarf. It's not that he wasn't hitting me. It's not that he wasn't wounding me. It's that I have armor. So by the time his guys are done, I have 6-up armor, and then I have a 6-up ward save for the round of combat. And he and I have been going back. I'll go through that at the very end. So now it's Goblin's turn 5. So he did a combat reform during his turn. This time, he manages to kill 3 dwarves. He's still not happy with that. He's like, I only killed 3, and I killed more dwarves than him, or more orcs than he killed dwarves. But he had the ranked banner and everything else. So I break, I run, and he catches me easily. I ran total 4 inches. He ran 4 inches. So now it's dwarf turn 6. So as I said, they're feral orcs. They had to turn around and pursue that unit. So my Deep Watch, which was really just going to be pulling back had he not, or had that opportunity not arisen, charged into his rear. As I have ranks in there, I've got at least 1 character in there. I'm strength 5 on the charge. I'm happy with that set of combat. My King Jordan's my warriors, and I'm not worried about his 1 remaining block on the board because it's just not. What's it going to touch? It's turn 6. So over here, shooting, I kill another 3. Over there, I lost something about 5 of my Deep Watch, and I killed maybe 4 of his guys. So again, here he is complaining. It's like, well, I'm like, look, I charged your rear, big rear. I have more ranks than you, so you're no longer steadfast, and yeah, you're going to break, you're going to flee. That's just what happens. And so the end of the day, it was a massive, massive massacre for the Dwarven Holes, 20-0 victory. To me, it was really tough to say who was my MVP for the Dwarven Holds. Was it my Cannon or my Greybeards? Both have the argument. The Cannon to me outperformed, but the Greybeards cleaned up the back line, hit the Feral Orcs, stuck the Feral Orcs, and then made the Feral Orcs go to where my Deep Watch could turn around, hit him in the rear, and then have so many bonuses. It's like, bye-bye. They're done. They're just dead. Get rid of them. For the Orcs and Goblins, that Gargantula, it took out the warriors. It really did do a number on my other warriors, but if it wasn't for me having all those buffs. So that's it. I do want to go back just a few. So this right here, his army's still sitting back there. The reason why he kept his army back there is because of my flame cannon. Both Ryan and I would like to know, people who watch this channel, what would you have done had you been him? Okay, you see his list, you know what he's got. How would you have deployed? How would you have responded to it? Because right now, he and I are in friendly banner, and he's going, dwarves are OP. I'm like, how the heck are dwarves OP? Your orcs are always +1 strength in the first round of combat. It doesn't matter if you're charged or have been charged. And he goes, well, you're a +1 strength. I'm like, 2. I'm like, only if I get the charge off. Otherwise, no, I'm not. You've got a unit there with Weapon Master, 3+ armor. I have a unit over there with 3+ armor. You've got your war machines, and I have my war machines. You've got your monster. I didn't even bring a monster. Dwarves don't have a monster. I have a hot air balloon that grinds, which I don't understand. But, you know, we really want to ask, what would you do? How would you have played it? My friend Dave was also watching this game because he finished his game up with Brett, and it was a march across the field. Both Dave and I were like, no, I probably would have lined up and just bum rushed your chaff straight ahead. It's either going to draw up my big infantry blocks so that you don't have to worry about my flame cannon, so you can turn around and go eat them, or it's going to turn around and allow you to get close enough with at least one of those big nasty units, maybe even throw the goblins in there with those that chaff, and then the guys with the mad gets, and you can start wrecking my lines before I have a chance to do anything about them. So that's what I would have done, is ran up with the 2 pump wagons, ran up with the Mangled Wrecking Teams and the goblins, and probably would have still had that Gargantula go down the flank rather than down the front. And just trying to play chicken. He's got Strider on that thing, so maybe use the ruins and play dance around the dwarf. That's it. Got nothing else. Like I said, we just have that question for you, the viewers. If you have any questions or comments, always feel free to post, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. That's it. Thank you so much. Until next time, this is Mark, so Sir MC 2015, and we'll see you then.